Hey there, Keith Yackey, founder of Private Money Pro and the creator of the Private Money Process, the step-by-step system to teach you how to raise tons and tons of cash for your real estate deals. What I wanted to do today was just pretty much answer the 10 most frequently asked questions that I get, whether it be via email or people call me and ask, or whether I get asked when I do a lot of speaking on some of the biggest real estate stages across America. And these are the 10 most frequently asked questions that I get all the time. So I figured I would take some time today, go through these for you, and hopefully what it will do is, because there's a lot of myths, okay? We all seem to just carry these myths. There's a lot of myths out there on raising private money and all that type of stuff. So I wanted to give you the 10 that I get all the time. And I probably could have done 20 or 30, but I tried to boil it down to the 10 most that I see that would help you the best. Because listen, having raised $45 million over the last 7 years, I can tell you this much. I've worked through a lot of these myths myself. And a lot of these are just, they're little hangups that you have in your brain that if I can just help you get over them, or if you say, okay, wait a second, here's Keith Yackey. This guy's the expert at raising private money. If he's telling me that these questions or these are the answers and that I should stop having that hang up, maybe that will push you over the edge and then you can do away with that. I know that a lot of times, whether it be training for anything, whether it be diet and nutrition, whether it be business, real estate, relationships, sometimes we have this little glass ceiling that we just keep butting up against too. And without that expert advice coming through, we don't break through. But once you hear an expert say, hey, this is the situation, you break through that ceiling and go through. I know for me, in my business, sometimes I just needed to hear from somebody who had been further down the road than me to say, hey, this is what's happening, here's what's going on. Either A, hang in there, keep doing what you're doing great, or B, you need to just tweak it a little bit and you'll be able to push yourself to that next level. So I'm hoping that and trusting that these answers, these questions, that you're probably having these most likely, because these are the ones I've had. These are the ones I hear constantly across the country, whether it's from all the way to the tip of Maine, down to the tip of Florida, all the way over to Seattle, or all the way down to San Diego, and everywhere in between, from Texas to North Dakota, and everywhere in between, okay? These are the ones I get mostly. So let's go through them. Number one, I get this all the time. Keith, is there just one main place to go to find all my private money needs? And let me answer this. The answer to that is simply this. There is no one magic bullet. There's not one. There's no one place that if you just go there, you'll raise all the private money you could ever need. There's a lot of places you want to go, all right? And let me tell you the psychology behind this, because if you believe there's just one place and you haven't found it yet, you're going to continue to keep searching, I believe, in vain. Because what are people asking for when we're really saying this? What are they really communicating? Is there just one place? We're really telling ourselves, I'm lazy. I don't want to search other spots. I don't want to do the work. I just want to go to one spot. Can you please just give me one spot? Just give me one. And the answer is no. There isn't just one spot. There are some great places to go to, but let me ask you this. What if that one spot was good and then it dried up? Your business is gone. Do you really just want one source of leads coming in, as it were? No business would ever survive off of one source of leads. And your business of raising private money for your real estate business, remember, you're a professional. And a lot of these questions have to do with skills that I'm going to encourage you to gain and get better at, so that way you can become better at raising private money. And the answer is there's no one single magic bullet. There's no one single place, okay? Now, you guys know I'm the creator of Private Money Pro, where we have the absolute best list of private money lenders and hard money lenders on the internet today. And it would probably serve me to say, just go buy that list and your answer's done. But I'm not going to say that, because that wouldn't be true. Is it the best list? Is it the most extensive, exhaustive place on the internet to find true, actual lenders? The answer is absolutely. But is that the only place I want you to go? No. So just know, if you're asking that, is there just one place? Make sure it's not coming from a spot that says, I just want to know one place and I'm done doing the rest of my business. All right? Now, if it's coming from the spot of, hey, where's the best spot? I'll get to that in a second. All right? So I hope that answers that. Is there just one place? No, there's many places, and you want to use all of them to really go for the gusto in raising private money. Number two, does it take a lot of time? This is another question that I get almost every time I talk about private money from on stage and we take a Q&A session, somebody will raise their hand and be like, hey, does it take a lot of time to raise private money? And the answer, to be really candid with you, is yes and no. Yes and no. As I go through here, like I told you, there's going to be a lot of skills that you're going to need to want to know how to do and want to be good at, and it will make it easier for you. For example, does it take a lot of time to run a marathon? Well, it depends on how good you are at running. Depends on how many times you need to stop. Depends on what your running skill is. Do you follow what I'm saying? So there's some people that can run a marathon in a short amount of time. I'm not even sure what a good marathon running time is, but let's say it's this. And there's others you that just aren't really that great at runners, myself included, where it would take me this amount of time. But can I still run the marathon? The answer is absolutely yes. So does it take a lot of time? It can, but you say, well, what are my activities? Well, that's the thing. What are your activities in raising private money? You want to be talking to people. You want to be making sure that you're going over the things that you need to be doing to attract private money to you, and that is providing good content on your actual deals, making sure you're being confident, okay? If somebody talks to me about what I do in my business, raising private money or flipping real estate or whatever I do, I talk confidently about it. I come across as the expert in it because I am. And so therefore I could win somebody over and they would say, hey, listen, I'm ready to invest money. Let's go. I'm ready to go do deals with you. I'm ready to joint venture with you or partner up with you and to do lots of real estate with you because I ooze confidence, because I have great credibility. I know my content and I know what's going on. For you, if maybe you're just getting started, it's going to take you a little bit longer time. But let me tell you this, and I hope this inspires you and gives you hope. The more labor you put into it and the wider you build the foundation, the taller the building you can build, okay? And in our society, we're we want easy, quick gratification. Like I want a burger, I order at the microphone, and when I get to this, where I pay, I want my burger now, all right? But that can kind of be a little, it hinders us in this instant gratification world we live in, and we think about how can I put a Band-Aid on my fix of my problem right now, rather than how can I build a foundation and build a business. You're not just learning to raise money in a day or a week or a month or a year. You're wanting to build a career and a lifetime that lasts, okay? So I want you to be thinking this, and that's what I do in my business. I go, what do I need to learn to be able to be good at my business from here on out? Not just what do I need to learn to be good today or just good tomorrow, but what can I be good here on out? What skills do I need to learn? All right? And I'm going to show you the different places that I believe are the best places to raise money, and it will take some skill. And that's why I got into this. That's why I created this system, was so that I could teach you how to be good at these things so you can raise private money and it'll become easy. So for me, I literally raised almost $850,000 on a 10-minute phone call. And it probably only took me a 3-minute phone call, but we were catching up on some other things. And this guy had never invested with me, not once. Took me 10 minutes. I raised $850,000 into some deals we did. It worked out fantastic. He's ready to go dump way more money into lots more deals, wants to partner and do all sorts of fun stuff with me. All right? Now, at the very beginning, that would have taken me quite some amount of time, but the momentum built up, and I looked for, I'm going to build this in the long strategy. I don't want the quick fix. I want long-lasting, enduring business. And how do I make that happen? Okay? So I hope that answered the second question. Does it take a lot of time? Number three, should I delegate this out? All right. You may have seen my other videos about how I tell you not to yell at doctors, and I'll just share the story quickly here for those of you who may have not heard that. But I thought about this myself early in my business. Should I just go get a professional money raiser and have them raise? I'll just continue focus on finding my deals and let them raise the money and that type of thing. And when I realized that that wasn't the best way, that's kind of how I became the expert, and that's kind of how I figured it out. And boy, do I wish I would have met me now 7 years ago. I would have saved so much headache and heartache and problems and blah, blah, blah. But with that being said, should you delegate this out? I went out to lunch with this professional money raiser, and we're leaving lunch, and there's this doctor that's walking out with us, and our cars were parked very close to each other, and he was getting into like some Lamborghini or like, you know, really cool Ferrari or something. You could tell the guy had some dough. And it always cracks me up anyway when doctors walk around in their scrubs, but regardless. And this lady, she's like, I mean, literally like yelling 2 or 3 cars away, hey, I can get you a better rate of return on your money. And I'm like embarrassed. I'm looking around like embarrassed, like she did not just say that. And the guy just kind of looked at her like, what are you talking about? She had no credibility. She didn't even know him. And she just, I don't know if she was trying to impress people or I don't understand. But that's definitely not the way to raise private money. And that's definitely not the way to raise money. And I realized, I'm not going to delegate this stuff out. I'm going to become good at it. Because listen, here's the thing. If you delegate it out and they leave, now where are you at? You're back to square one again, right? You want to be the one that they say, I trust you, I believe in you, I like your deals, I want to invest in you. And that way, you're never dependent upon somebody else. This is the one task that I've never delegated out. I've tried, but it didn't work. And that's because there's a story that you say. There's a story in who you are, all right? And you want to continue to build that story, and you want to continue to build trustworthiness and your track record. So I'm telling you, if you delegate it out, I think it's a shortcut. Some may disagree. That's okay. I'm just saying in my career of raising over $45 million in the last 7 years, this is something that I would not be delegating out. Okay. Number 4, do I have to be outgoing? People look at me and say, Keith, you're an outgoing dude. You can build rapport quickly with people. You're easy to get along with. People like you. Do I have to be like that to be able to raise money? And the answer is no. You don't have to be exactly like me. You have to be authentically you. Because anytime we're trying to be somebody who we're not, people can tell. It's like you can smell it on somebody, right? You're like, something's not right. They're trying to be somebody that they're not. They're trying to do something or say something that's not uniquely or characteristically, authentically them. All right? Do not do that. Be you. But be the best you can be. I'm not saying you have to change your personality. But what I am saying this is if you are going to build rapport with people, if you are going to connect with them and they're going to say, hey, I trust you. I like what you're doing. I'm in. You're going to have to talk to them somehow. You're going to have to say something. You're going to have to learn how to build trust with them. So, do you have to be outgoing, the life of the party? No. But do you have to be able to clearly communicate what you're trying to accomplish? Yes, you will. You will have to do that. And so you say, well, Keith, I'm not a very good speaker. I'm not saying you have to be a public speaker, and that's another question that people ask is, do I have to learn how to public speak? I'll get to that when that was saying, but you just know that you're going to have to be able to at least clearly communicate what you're trying to accomplish, okay? So do you have to be super outgoing? No, because not everybody you're going to be dealing with is super outgoing, so you don't want to be that person. But we'll get into that a little bit more. But the answer to that is, no, you don't have to be super outgoing, but you do have to be able to communicate what you're trying to get across. Number 5, this is a big one. And this one, it's so funny. Do I need business cards or fancy business cards, and do I need a fancy Whiz-Bang website? And the answer to that one is absolutely not. I never carry business cards. I figure if I'm getting close enough to somebody, and we build enough rapport, we'll swap cell phone numbers and we can text and stuff. I have had business cards in the past, and they were simple. They were black. They had my name, my cell phone number, and my email. Here's how to get a hold of me. Okay. Now, business cards might be a better situation for you in certain situations. A lot of times I've been on stage, and so people know who I am. I'm easy to get a hold of and get in contact with. But for you, if you want to have a business card, it doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be simple. And does your website have to be fancy? No, it can just be simple. Now, what do these things do? Business cards and websites. For you, it builds credibility. And everybody wants to be doing business and dealing with people who are credible, okay? Because I've raised $45 million over the last 7 years, because I can pick up the phone and raise $850,000 in a 10-minute phone call, because I put this system together and I'm showing you exactly how to do it, and because my language patterns and what I say is accurate and on cue and all that, you're thinking, okay, this guy's the expert, he's credible, I want to listen to what he has to say. But if I hadn't done any of that, didn't have any of that, you'd be like, well, what is this guy saying? How does it even apply to me? So what I'm saying is, if you have business cards and a website, make them clean, make them excellent, but they don't have to be whiz-bang fancy. That's why a lot of times I'll use a whiteboard and just talk into a camera. I could do some big crazy whiz-bang, people flying all over the place, music, blah. But you know what? And now, today's day and age, like the mindset and the shift of our culture here in America, and I even believe like worldwide, the UK, when I've traveled there and in Canada, it's like this. People appreciate authenticity. People appreciate that I'm just standing here, just a normal guy who's raised a lot of money, speaking in a camera, just telling you about how you can do it as well. All right? And so I think that authenticity and congruency with who you are is way better than flash whiz-bang. All right? That's my opinion. It served me well in my career. So you don't have to go crazy because, I mean, guys, people want to charge all this money for all these websites and this craziness. It's like, shine it on. You can have a website, make it simple, make it credible, but don't think that that's going to be your silver bullet because it's not. All right. Do I need any startup money? If you're going to be using a hard money lender, then yes, you will need some startup money, but it doesn't have to be your startup money. You can bring in, let's say you bring a deal and a hard money lender says, you know what, I see what your ARV is and I want to give you, X amount of dollars. But to be able to buy that and to renovate it, you need a little bit more. That's where you reach out to a private money guy and say, hey, listen, here's the deal we have the opportunity on. We need this kind of money to go make this kind of return. And so you do need startup money if you're using hard money. You'll need to gap that fund with a gap funder. We call them a gap lender, gap funder, which would be somebody else's private money. So it doesn't have to be yours, but in today's day and age, if you're going to raise a lot of money, you're going to use hard money and private money, yes, you will need to raise some money, but you don't have to have it up front. And you can meet people that have it, and I'm going to show you where the best place to do that is as well. So do you really need startup money? No, you don't need any startup money in your pockets right now. No, you don't. But as you get into deals, you're going to need to find people that have that, and that's why you're here, and that's why you're learning from these videos, so you can know where they are at. So I hope that answered that question really great. Another question I get all the time, do I need to be super techie? Because now we're moving into this information age and where everybody's on computers and, Facebooks and Twitters and all this other Instagram and all that stuff. And do I need to be techie with that and putting my reports together? And does it have to have graphs and arrows and all that? The answer is no. You don't have to be super techie. You have to be able to create simple reports. I've literally trained people how to raise private money that were from a different generation, meaning they were older. They didn't even know how to use a simple calculator, let alone a computer. And I just sat down with them and just showed them the very simple templates. Here, you fill this out, step-by-step instructions on how to do this, and they were able to pick it up like that. And if they can do that, if I can do it, when I don't even know anything about computers or any of that at all, I have no idea how this video is even online right now. I don't know how to do any of that. But you know what? That's okay, because there's people that can help you with that, and you don't have to be super techie to raise money. Rather than being super techie, be super trustworthy. Be a trustworthy person that people look at you and say, you know what? I trust you. I believe in you, and I believe in this project. Let's go. That will serve you way more than just being super techie. We kind of answered number 8 a little bit. It says, do I have to public speak? Because, again, an old myth was, and it worked for a time if you were really good at public speaking, where you would gather a bunch of people together into a room and you'd have a luncheon. You'd provide them, some lunch or what have you, and you would present your ideas, you'd present your business, and you'd show, how you can help them get a better rate of return and all that good stuff. And you would to be able to do that in that old world, you had to be good at public speaking. You had to be able to clearly communicate on stage who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, how you can help people, what the benefits are to them if they, do deals with you and partnering and joint venturing and all that kind of stuff. And those types of things have gotten some people in problems and trouble with, the Securities and Exchange Commission and the rules there. And I go into depth on how to make sure you're being compliant and you're not, you can't just go take out a billboard and say, hey, invest with me. You can't do that. There's guidelines in our country to protect unsavvy investors, that people that have been swindled by just absolute hucksters in the past. And so, do you have to be able to public speak? Not necessarily, but let me ask you this. If you were good at public speaking and you were at a real estate seminar and conference and they allowed you to come up on stage and share who you are and share what you did, you will be able to leverage that stage to be able to build trust with people, and you'll be able to raise money quicker. So when people say, Keith, should I learn how to public speak? I always encourage people, that's a great skill to have, no matter who you are, whether it become video. Guys, we're in an internet age. If you build a website and you don't have any video on it, what are you doing? You need to have something, but if you don't know how to speak into the camera and build that trust and that credibility and that expert positioning for these people to help, that you can help, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. I knew a guy Understood real estate really well. Like he was great at real estate, but he was horrible at raising money. And he and I worked together, and I really worked with him and helped him with his stage presence and how to speak and the guy went on to raise millions and millions of dollars. And at first, he didn't realize the power that he could use by being able to speak publicly. But when I worked with him and showed him how, the guy, his money raising ability went through the roof. So I don't want you to handicap yourself in any way, shape, or form because you're afraid. Now, public speaking, people say is like scarier than death, right? People, they clam up, they get nervous, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? And I have some things I can help you with that I believe that would help you speak better publicly because it just helps you all around in your business altogether. Speaking into a camera, speaking to a group of people, speaking one-on-one, all these types of things. So do you have to be able to public speak? No. Would it help you? Absolutely. And I want to help you raise private money easier and get your momentum building and building and building, okay? Next question is, do I need good credit? No. When you're raising private money with somebody that you meet off, I mean, a lot of my private money that I've raised, they've never checked my credit once. They don't care. It's not about some silly score on whether I forgot to pay a medical bill, 6 years ago that I didn't even know about, or I forgot to, pay some phone bill if I moved and it went in collections and like something silly that, this stuff happens to people's credit all the time. Now, will hard money people check it? Probably, because they want to get a feel for who you are. And sometimes they call me the realest man in real estate because I'm just real. I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you you can go do all these no money down deals and no credit and blah, 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 and you're going to make $1 million in, 4 days. That's not real. I don't believe in get-rich-quick schemes. I don't believe in that. I think that's fake. I believe in getting rich in America for sure, but it doesn't have to come quick, and very rarely does it come quick, and if it comes quick, it comes crashing down. I want to help you build a business that lasts over and over and over again so you can raise money constantly, constantly, constantly. So do you need good credit? Your private investors will probably never look at that. Truth of the matter. Hard money guys will probably look at it. They just want to know your story. They want to know what's happened. They want to know a little bit about who you are. So do you have to, this has become a hang up with a lot of people like, oh, I can't go raise private money because I have bad credit. No, stop. Don't think that way. You don't have to have that. You don't have to have good credit to go raise millions of dollars. I know, I have people that I've trained that have horrible credit. And after I've trained them and taught them and showed them some things, they go out and raise $1 million in a couple months. Okay. So did they need good credit? The answer is no. All right. But with that, let me say, if you have good credit, is it easier? Of course. Absolutely. Just because you have some ankle weights on your legs doesn't mean you can't walk. But when they're gone, you can just walk faster. And so we're going to show you how to keep walking faster, building momentum, and building your business even better. And number 10, I put 3 question marks here because this is the biggest one I think I get asked all the time. And it's kind of a lot like, is there just one main place? Here's the thing. Number 10 is, where, in my opinion, they'll say, Keith, in your opinion, where are the 3 best places to raise private money? Where are the best places you can go to raise private money? And these are 3 that I think we all have access to. I think we all should be doing. I think that you'll find that these are the easiest places to go. But my number 1, I love this more than any other because it's an equal playing field for everybody. And that is in some sort of real estate, I'm going to just put RE here, club, conference, seminar, these types of setting, whether they are association, real estate clubs, conferences, or seminars. Here's the reason why I believe in seminars a really powerful one. Because think about this. You've probably gone to a real estate seminar at some point in time, I'm guessing. Maybe you haven't. If you have, cool. If you haven't, okay. You get in this room where you're learning how to invest in real estate from somebody up on stage, and it's a network of people. And the reason why I say it's number 1, because that network is so powerful. You literally have this mass movement, this group of people all moving in the same exact direction. and they understand what you're accomplishing. And let me tell you, because I've been in this business for a while now, and I've been on some of the largest stages, some of the been paid lots and lots of money to go up and speak and share my story and share with others how they can raise lots of money and how they can do well in real estate. I can tell you this, that moving together is powerful. And what I've seen is this. There are some people that come to these seminars, clubs, or conferences. There's two groups of people there. One with a lot of money and not very much time. And then the other person is a lot of time, but not a lot of money. And when the power of this, and this is why I share this with you, the power of these coming together has created some of the greatest joint venture opportunities I've ever seen. When I first started out and I had no money and I went to a seminar and I saw these other investors all around me, and I was like, wow, that guy's got money. And I was able to build rapport and show, hey, listen, I'm eager. I'm wanting to learn, and I'm willing to work, and I have the work ethic to show. And that's what you're going to need to show people at these seminars. I have the work ethic. I'm willing to do this. I'm learning what you're learning. I know the steps to create a nice, clear, concise package so that you want to invest, but I've got the work ethic and the willingness to go and learn. I have the time. You have the money. Let's do this, right? That's kind of the mentality. And so you'll find that at these seminars, clubs, and conferences, there'll be guys or gals with lots of cash but not a lot of time. And if you're that person that has a lot of time without a lot of cash, you can make some of the most wonderful JVs there. And it's easy in that situation, whether it be the seminar, the club, or the conference, because they see you. There's a familiarity. You're part of like a group, whether you're part of, you're part of that particular club or clique or crew, right? And it's like you're serving them and they're serving you. They say, I got a lot of cash without a lot of time. You're like, perfect. I got a lot of time, but I don't have a lot of cash. That marrying is so much like peanut butter and jelly. There's the sweet and the sturdy and the sticky. It's just great, right? So the real estate club, conference, and seminars, that's one of my absolute total favorites places to go, okay? A second one is something very similar in this regard, in the sense that you can, let me use another color here, in another sense that, you've got this real estate club, conference, seminar. Another one that is totally free and totally awesome, and I'll use, is Craigslist. You say, what? Yeah, Craigslist. One of my biggest private money investors that I ever met, I met off of Craigslist. And you got to understand, real estate investing, it's sexy right now, right? And a lot of times these guys will advertise as hard money when really it's just a single guy that's got $1 million or $2 million or 200,000 or 500,000, whatever the case is. And he puts himself out there as a hard money lender. And I met a guy online, right in my hometown, on Craigslist. And he would fund my entire deal at like 1 point. It was like 1 point, then it got down to no point, and like 12% annualized interest. That's really cheap money, guys. And he and I did deal after deal after deal after deal after deal. And I met him on Craigslist. And so I just go on Craigslist and I place an ad saying, hey, I'm really good at finding deals, looking for a joint venture partner. Because if you're a joint venture partner, that's perfectly legal. That's perfectly fine. Or you can go in there as you go and look in Craigslist, see people says, I'm a cash buyer looking for deals. That's a great way to, to call up. You can call them. Now you need to know what to say. You need to know how to talk to these people. And I go really in depth in that and what to say. You know what I found? This is kind of a side note, but I want to hit on this, and it could probably be up here in these 10 frequently asked questions, and that is, what do I say? A lot of times what I've found, having been a very highly paid speaker and trainer and educator in this realm, most people are just afraid because they don't know what to say. They're like, I have no idea what to say. Like, I can find them. I know where they're at, but I don't know how to communicate or say to them. And so we go way, way, way into depth on that one. So number one, we got the clubs, the conferences, the seminars. And guys, that mingling is so powerful, so powerful. B, Craigslist, another great spot to go. Now before I get to C, I want you guys to, I want you to stop just for a minute here. And I want you to think, what would it be like? And just process this in your mind as you're thinking. what would it be like if I just had access to all the cash for all the deals I would want to do? I don't want to, I'm not going to stop at just one deal. I can now do 2 or 3. I know a guy that I taught. When I met him, he was doing 1 deal at a time. Because he only had money for one. So he would do 1 deal, wait for it to sell, and then take that money and roll it into another deal. And I remember I met him, and I showed him the system of how to raise private money. That guy went on, has done over 12 or 1,300 deals using exactly what I showed him on how to leverage funds and use other people's money to grow. The guy with bright, brilliant real estate mind, like one of the best I've ever seen. I'm just when I see his mind and how it works for real estate, I was just blown away. But he didn't have this one component. And when I showed him the system, it just blew up his business. And so some of you, yes, I know I'm talking to newbies, and you're just looking for the money for that first deal. But I know there's a lot of you also who are always looking for private money, because if you're like me, you're looking for somebody, show me how, but there was really nobody online that's really teaching the nitty-gritty. I'm not talking about the fluffy stuff. I'm talking about the nitty-gritty, where to go, what happens, what do you really do, how do you talk to them, that type of stuff. When I showed this guy, it skyrocketed his level from doing, and I think he had done maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 deals by the time I had met him, real deals, and it just blew his business up, and I think he's like on his 1,200 or 1,300 deal right now. I mean, it's mind-blowing. And so when I ask you to think about what could you do if you had access, I worked really hard to be able to get myself in that position when if I had a deal, I had the funds to go do it and knew who to call. And so what I did, and I'm not a real self-promoting type guy and, hey, go do this, buy this, whatever, but for me, I found and I built this Private Money Pro list, okay? It's the Private Money Pro list. This is the next spot I'll tell you that I found for the best. Private Money Pro list. You're already here on the website, so you probably already know all about it. You've probably already put your name and email on the website to get the 2 free lenders and all that. But I've committed myself to be totally transparent and totally honest with you. I think you know that. For those people who do know me, they know this guy's just going to pitch it to you straight. It's going to be real deal. And so when I tell you C, which is the Private Money Pro list, the reason I say that is because I wish that something like that existed 7 years ago. I just want to be real with you. Like, I have people who have bought that list, and people call me all the time. You're not going to believe it, Keith. In my market, I call up, and I raised $500,000 on my first 2 phone calls for my deals. And I get excited about that because I know that they're starting their career, and this was a tool that helped them. So I'm committed to just give you what I believe is the best and continue. I'm always in tweaking and looking for better ways to help people in a more congruent way. I want to help. I know that in this world, it's not about taking, it's about giving, okay? So I'm going to give you my top 3. Go to the real estate clubs, go to the conferences, go to the seminars, link arms with people. Go on Craigslist and look and post an ad or read other posted ads, okay? Go to Private Money Pro list. There's so many lenders on there, and they're always being filtered through, and they're always, I built this because I wasn't finding anything out there that could help and serve my needs. So I built it so that I could serve others and help others and help them create the benefits in the life that they wanted. So I hope that after going through these 10 most frequently asked questions, all of these has helped you to really understand maybe there's some hiccups in my mind, in my thinking, that's causing me to hit that glass ceiling. And now knowing where to go, these 3 spots, man, I'll tell you, if you just hit these 3 areas, you go to these clubs and you understand what you're saying, you go to Craigslist and you get the Private Money Pro list, you're going to see that, oh my goodness, there's a whole world of private money out there that you've never even experienced and that is there for the taking. Guys, it's simple.